yeah, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and my advice to a lot of people is like, you never know what'll happen. I know what will happen if you do nothing. Nothing. You won't grow. You won't go anywhere. You could try this thing. Like I've had a different podcast before and it failed, but I learned so much. I learned what not to do. I learned what to do. And then even just the creative process of building this one, I've seen its ups and downs and kind of made some mistakes here and there. And it's just an ever creative process where you're learning from your mistakes, but you also can see like what does work, and that excites you. And then I get to meet amazing people like yourself, someone who has so much experience, and I can take a little piece from this conversation and push it forward, and I can take your book and kind of learn from there. And then maybe there's something that we talk about that gives you another idea, And recently I was actually filling out an application for some funding from my podcast funding. And a lot of people are like, yeah, I mean, those, it's really hard to get funded by them. They have a really intense application process. And I've seen that, but I was like, hey, even if I get nothing from them, the cool part is these questions forced me to think of the business model and the podcast in a whole new way. And it was so good for my own growth. So in a way, they did help me. If I didn't get $1 from them, it's fine, because I was forced to think about these things I wasn't thinking about.
That's a great exercise that you've kind of gone, experienced there, because yeah, if you think about it, there's a lot of people doing jobs, and that's they're getting the paycheck, and then they're doing, let's say, hobbies on the side. So it could be guitar, it could be watching movies, whatever. But there's a lot of hobbyist podcasters as well, and so you've kind of gone, that state of mind has taken you from hobbyist to, let's say, pro. And so you're now thinking, like, how can I monetize this? Because down the line, like, especially if you're looking for funding or for partners, sponsors, they're going to ask you that question, aren't they? Like, how many subscribers, listeners, how many downloads, whatever. What countries are you in? What's your demographic, and so on. So you've got to know all that if you're ever looking to expand this. So I think it's great if you can be doing that very early on. And I can see now, like, you've, even just on Zoom, I can see you've got like one of those mic stands in a studio style setup there. Really, you got the headphone, you got the cans on, the headphones, big old headphones, which are great. And so so immediately, like, you look like you got pro gear, and the way that you're conducting this is pro. So it's
it's there, right? And so a lot of people too, because you always feel more pressed by the haters or the people with criticisms, that always stands out the most. But it's good too, because it's made me reflect and think. But I also think the same thing. I'm like, all those other things like marketing and all those little intricate parts that are very important, those don't matter if you don't have the willpower, the energy, and the talent, right? So if you have those core bones, you can build something. All those things will come with it. And it's funny because I'm like, gosh, I feel like I could get a job in marketing after trying to market your own thing by yourself, because I'm trying to learn everything on the fly, and I'm trying to do all this stuff. And I appreciate that feedback from you, man. I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.